Because in the course of doing dana, one may happen to give dana to devotee of the Lord, as we discussed in the story of Nirga, that he happened to do this seva. Also, when we went to Simhachalam, that time you remember that how there was a story that once Prurva Maharaj was going and then he helped to renovate that temple of Simhachalam. So it appears maybe he also would have received some way this service from some devotee, or in that way he also might have somewhat practice of bhakti. So we see that how by dana somebody comes in touch like this. Or in yajna I was telling that sometime the priest may be a devotee of the Lord, and because priest is devotee of the Lord, so then naturally he gets the bhakti sukriti.
Sometimes this one Agyan Bhakti also one does. Agyan Sukriti.
We'll come to that also, we'll discuss. So bhakti does not depend on anything else, including vairagya also. In fact, when one practices bhakti, then gyan and vairagya, they come. So this we discussed. This we were discussing. Bhagavad bhakti hinasya jati shastram japastapah aparanasyeva dehasya mandanam lok ranjanam. Without devotion to the Lord, Bhagavad Bhakti Hinasya, good birth, knowledge of scriptures, Japa, Tapa, Jati Shastram Japastapah are like delighting, Lokaranjanam, in the decoration of a dead body, Aparanasyeva Dehasya Mandanam. So, thus, without bhakti, all these endeavors become fruitless. As the body depends on the presence of the soul, the very life of Jnana Karma Yoga depends on the supremely exalted Bhakti Devi. So now this Agya Sukruti means unknowingly one performs devotional service. And then that devotional service that unknowingly performed, that helps him to meet a devotee of the Lord. So this unknowingly performed devotion service also happens because of devotee of the Lord. Like suppose somebody is going in some area and he is going for some enjoyment or for some job, then he finds a temple in between made by devotee of the Lord. And then when he is going and big roaring kirtan is happening in the temple, and then while going on a bike by a road which is just next to the temple, he also may happen to chant Hare Rama, Hare Rama, and he goes. Is it not? Or he is going for eating vada pav on the outside at Hyderabad gate. And then some devotees thought, let us, Prabhu, we are wasting our time sitting here. We should go for Harinam Sankirtan. And then all devotees are going. And while eating vada pav, he is saying, Are ye to apne hi log hain. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So then he gets Agya Sukriti. So Agya Sukriti also comes by devotee of the Lord. And then because of Agya Sukriti, he gets an opportunity to meet a devotee of the Lord. And then his bhakti starts. Yes, Prabhu.
ऐसा जरूरी है कोई कि अज्ञात सुकृति भक्ति भक्ति आएगी कोई कोई जैसे वो महाप्रभु ये बोलते हैं मतलब हर राम बोला तो उसका एक सुकृति बढ़ा.
वो भी आ सकता है, लेकिन उसको हराम के लिए भी कहाँ से पता चलेगा. अच्छा, उसका जो वर्ड है हराम, हाँ, उससे भी आ सकता है अज्ञात सुकृति. Yeah, in that way. And that Agyar Sukriti, again, it will help him to meet a devotee of the Lord only. So his bhakti will start from a devotee of the Lord only. Means Agyar Sukriti also in one way is helping him, but that Agyar Sukriti will help him to be in touch with devotee of the Lord, and that devotee will now engage him in the devotion service of the Lord. Is bhakti, but that means Agyar Sukriti is bhakti, but it will help him to meet a devotee of the Lord so that in a proper way he can start bhakti. Like that. What you are saying is true. Somebody may chant haram, that is mentioned in the scriptures, that he gets the benefit. But at the same time, it may not be bhakti also, because if somebody chants haram, then he can get eradication of sinful action. He can get Brahma Jyoti, but nowhere it is written that he can get bhakti, or he can get Krishna Prem, or it may help him in bhakti in any way. Because that also, what is mentioned is that he can get rid of sinful reaction. So good karma, bad karma, eradication of karma, that has nothing to do with bhakti, like that. So as per what Vishnachukri Thakur is writing here, that bhakti comes because of bhakti, and that bhakti will come by the help of a devotee. So whatever Agya Sukruti also we define, there also a devotee of the Lord will be involved. So if a devotee of the Lord are going and they are doing Harinam Sankirtan, and then they chant Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, that is Agya Sukruti. And this Haram, he is also chanting. So that also can come under Agya Sukruti. Unknowingly he is performing some devotional service. But it may not be Agya Sukruti also, because the result may not be spiritual result also, if he is chanting with no other bhav. But what happens when devotees are chanting and they are doing Harinam Sankirtan? So sometimes what happens, he gets touched by the bhava of devotee also. अरे यार लोग क्या है, लोग खुश लोग हैं, हरे राम हरे कृष्णा, like that. But if we are chanting like that haram, so there is no bhava in that, like that. So like this Nirga Maharaj, when he gave dana to this Brahmana, so he gave dana in one way, just as he was giving everywhere. So Brahmana came, he gave. But because Brahmana was a devotee of the Lord and he was in such need of money, so his heart melted. So he blessed him that you will see Krishna. So because he blessed him, then that made him to see Krishna, like that. So in that way, that is devotion service, like that. Now it is mentioned bhakti does not depend even on purity or faith also. Like that. Sometimes you'll find this purity is, which purity is, material purity. Like someone may be in mode of goodness, someone may be living a very pure life, not giving up to any of sinful activities, but that does not mean that he becomes qualified for bhakti. On the other hand, somebody may have a very bad background, very impure background, but then we see like hippies, they became such a great soul. What kind of background hippies had, right? Very difficult. So bhakti does not depend even on purity or faith. Uh, the dependence of karma and yoga on the conditions of purity in place, time, candidate, materials, and performance is well known. So, saying the karma and yoga depends on all this. It depends on purity, place, time, the person, all the paraphernalia required, and things. But that is not true in case of bhakti. Na desa niyamas tatraha, na kal niran yas tatha. नोचिस्तादो निषेधोस्ति श्री हरेर नामनि लुब्धके. In chanting the name of the Lord, there are no restrictions concerning place, time, or restrictions on the performance because of impurity, like this. So you'll find that is the beauty of bhakti. Like holy name of the Lord can be chanted in any situation, but we cannot do karma and yoga like that. You need fit body first for yoga. If you have a diseased body, you cannot perform yoga. Same way for karma, to do karma candidate yajna, you need money, you need place, time, and so many things, right? But in case of chanting, one can just chant the holy names of the Lord. Bhakti does not depend even on faith. So he's quoting this. Sakrat api parigitam श्रद्धया हेलया va भृगुवर naramatram tar yat Krishna nama. O best of Raghu, if anyone chant Lord Krishna's name even once unreservedly, Sakrat api parigitam, whether in a drishu mood or with a proper faith, Shraddhaya Helayava, the holy name will certainly award him liberation. I think that will come under Agyasukruti only, what you are saying, haram. Because here similar kind of verse only is quoting that how bhakti does not depend on the faith also. If someone chants the holy name of the Lord without faith also, Saraddhaya Helaya Va, in a derisive mood or with a proper faith, the holy name will certainly award him liberation. The necessity of internal purity for practice of karma and jnana yoga is well known. Virtasur, Gyan Yoga is moreover dependent on Karma Yoga. For one may enter Gyan Yoga only with the heart purified of gross desires. Yeah, so this is a gradual yoga ladder. First is Karma Yoga, then Niskam Karma Yoga, then only he can come to Gyan Yoga because his material desire should be purified. Then only he can take to Jnana. In Gyan Yoga, one cannot have family. In Gyan Yoga, one cannot have sense gratification. Gyan Yoga means fully detached from everything. That is the qualification to be a Gyani. And because of this dependency, if the practitioner of Gyan Yoga commits even a small unworthy act by accident, he is considered as a Vantasi, as an eater of vomit. So those who are sannyasi, they take a vow in front of deity, in front of the Lord of the deity in the temple, that I will not marry or have any connection with women. If they happen to do so, then that is considered as if they are eating the same vomit which they have taken out. So same way for a Gyani, it is mentioned that if he comes to this level, if by mistake he happens to fall down, then that is considered so sinful. Besides, Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu and Ramana were famous practitioners of Jnana, and they are certainly not at all worthy of praise. Saying somebody can be a famous karmi or a jnani, and one may become a very sinful also. Bhakti does not depend on purity and faith. On the other hand, the path of bhakti, though afflicted by lust, has the qualification to begin the practice, and just by the practice of bhakti, lust and other impurities are destroyed. So here it is mentioned, in case of jnana, one cannot enter unless his desires are purified, heart is purified. He is eligible for only karma. Next stage after karma is jnana. Whereas in case of bhakti, someone who is very sinful also can begin bhakti. That is beauty of bhakti. So he is quoting this verse. Vikrititam vraj vadudbhir idam cha vishnu श्रद्धान वितो अनुसृण्वयाद अथ वरणयद ये भक्तिं परां भगवती प्रतिलभ्य कामं हृद्रोगम आशु अपनोति अचिरेण धीरा. Anyone who faithfully hears or describes the Lord's playful affairs with the young gopis of Vrindavan will attain Lord's pure devotion service. Thus, he will quickly become sober and conquer lust, the disease of the heart. So, this is mentioned that how even if one has these impurities, if he hears the pastimes of the Lord, then all the impurities will go. That's why you'll find in case of Bhakti Yoga, no other processes help also is required. Like suppose if somebody does some thing wrong in Bhakti Yoga, then he does not have to take help of other process. Bhakti itself will purify him. He has to repent, seek forgiveness, and take more shelter of bhakti. It's not that, oh, now this happened, I have to do some atonement or I have to take help of this. No. Bhakti itself will take care of him. By the tense of the word pratilabhya, having attained in this verse, it is very clear. Bhakti first manifests in the stage where there are still lusty desires in the heart. And then after her manifestation, lusty desires are wiped out. This is due to the fact that bhakti is supremely independent. That means even in a conditioned stage, we have such impurities, but it is the supremely causeless nature of bhakti that it can still come in our heart. Furthermore, though such impurities as kama may sometimes appear in a devotee, the scripture never condemns that devotee as at all. So this is quoting this verse. Api chetsu duracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak sadhur eva samantavya samyak vyavastito hi saha. It may happen sometimes one is engaged in the process of devotion service, but he has some heavy background. And because of that heavy background, he may fall to, or he may happen to do some act which is not in line with the scriptures. So still, in eyes of Krishna, he is considered a sadhu. Why? Because he repents to Krishna, my dear Lord, I have committed such a wrong act, and I don't mind going to hell, but I'll not leave your lotus feet. In this life, I want to take your shelter. So he is considered a sadhu. I already discussed this thing, that how once demigods they were confused hearing this verse and next verse, because the next verse Krishna says quickly, Shipram, he comes back to the same level. So then demigods they had doubt that here Krishna is saying he's a sadhu only. Then why he's saying that he again come back to the same level? So then Bhaktivedanta Thakur says, those people who think that he has fallen down, they come back to the same level after practice of bhakti. So actually bhakti, that's why we cannot actually offend anyone. Somebody may be doing something wrong, objectively we can report them to superior, but we cannot have an offensive attitude because we don't know the heart of that devotee. Now that devotee may be sincerely repenting and may be trying to take more shelter of Krishna. Then actually Krishna, in eyes of Lord, he is a sadhu. And all these impurities and all, they are not big thing in eyes of Krishna. Krishna is just waiting when we fully surrender to him. Then Krishna can very quickly take care of all his wrong sides, all his impurity. Like that. Sarodharan pitaja ma mekam sarnam vrijaha. So the moment this happens, then papebhyo, Krishna is ready to take all the papa. The servants of Vishnu judged Ajamila as a devotee. So though the chanting of persons like Ajamila who uttered the name of Lord inveterantly out of affection for his son must be considered Namabhas. Still they are universally praised as devotees. So what he's saying, even at that level, when Ajamila was about to die and he happened to call out Narayana, although he was chanting Namabhas, he was considered a devotee only. Yes, sir. Although he had a track record of so many sin, he was sinful, he had lusty desires. Internal purity and purity of place, material, etc. are necessary for the accomplishment of karmi, jnani and yogi. And their deficiency obstruct progress on those path. For karma and yoga, all these things are there. Like you cannot perform a yajna at an impure place. They need to have a pure place. Then only you can perform yajna. And you need certain ingredients. Is it not? Same way for Jnani and yogis. But can you imagine our Gaur Kuthos Babaji Maharaj was chanting inside toilet? Can you call yogi, do here Hatha Yoga? Karmi, you do here Yagya. But very difficult. There one of our Acharya, he would eat in a khopdi of a person. That was his plate. Pure devotee. Like that. And over this, the Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj, he would bring fishes and he would dry them outside his house. He would go to person, those who have caught fishes, and fishes were died only. So then he would tell those people, please give me some fishes. And they were surprised that why? And he would put them outside his house. So that no one thinks that he's a pure devotee. He would do all this. So that no one comes to him to disturb his bhajan. So bhakti is like that in all situations. Vritasur, he was demon. And he was trampling upon, he was walking over the bodies of demigods. That chutney ban raha tha. And he was Mahabhagavat, pure devotee. So bhakti is like that. Bhishma is fighting on this side, Arjuna is fighting on this side, and they are killing and in thousands, millions. Both are pure devotees. Like that. Bhakti, however, is the very giver of life to this path. Bhakti, however, is independent. It neither requires any other means for its execution, nor is it obstructed by any lack or fault. Any situation, bhakti can be done. You see, Prahlad Maharaj could do bhakti in the womb. Sukdev Goswami could do bhakti in the womb. Is not. Nadmuni Dhruv Maharaj could do bhakti as a small boy. Nagpatnis could do bhakti being, you know, in the household family, not having much access to go anywhere. But inside they were doing their bhakti. That's why whenever the disciples of Prabhupada were caught, so and they were, initially when they were caught and they became little disturbed and they said, Prabhupada, they are catching us and they are putting in the jail. And Prabhupada would say, continue, what is problem? That is the universal nature of bhakti. No place, no time, nothing can limit bhakti. That is the universal nature of bhakti. Any situation one can practice bhakti. And you see, it is such a special privilege of bhakti. Suppose somebody is in a deathbed in some hospital, still he can chant holy names of the Lord. Like that. Bhakti sometimes plays the role of Jnana's assistant only to support it. Conclusion: Bhakti is Mahasakti of the Lord, therefore only an animal would reject Bhakti. Bhakti is Mahasakti of the Lord, therefore only an animal would reject Bhakti. And then it is mentioned, Bhaktya Sanjayita Sanjatya Bhaktya. The fruit of sadhana bhakti is prem bhakti, which itself is the topmost attainment for mankind. Purushartha Shiro Manihi. So from bhakti only comes bhakti. Bhaktya Sanjataya Bhaktya. Thus, the all pervading, all attractive, life giving, super excellent, supremely independent, and self manifesting nature. Sarv Vyapakatvam, Sarv Vasikaratvam, Sarv Sanjitvam, Sarvatkarshah, Param Swatantraha, Swaparkaswatam. Of the exalted energy Bhakti Devi which arise from the Lord Himself has been slightly described. So these are the characteristics of Bhakti. All pervading, all attractive, life giving, super excellent, supremely independent, and self manifesting nature. Bhakti is called Mahasakti because it has all the characteristics of the Lord. It is universally accessible. Sarv Vyapakatvam. You see, any place on the planet, people can take up to Bhakti. It is all attractive. Sarv Vasikaratvam. It gives life to karma, jnana, and yoga. Sarv Sanjeevakatvam. It supersedes everything else. Sarvo Kotkarsha. Supremely independent and self manifest. By her desire, she manifests herself to some and does not to others. So, Parkasatvam. What else can be said? If one is a human being but does not take to the process of bhakti, then he should not be considered a human being at all. Kave na savet vina narittaram. Only a non-human would refuse to serve the Lord. So like that, this is now the summary is given. That the highest understanding of the absolute truth is Akhil Rasamrit Murti. The Lord and Suddha Bhakti are self-manifest and independent. The Lord bestows His mercy and pure bhakti through the devotee. The Supremely Lord is subservient to His pure devotee. Bhakti is not caused by any other process. Rather, it is bhakti which supports the other process. Bhakti does not depend on purity or faith. You have read that section in Dwaraka when Krishna enters. So it is mentioned there were some prostitutes also, and they are devotees of the Lord. So how it is somehow because of in the Vedic time it was need of society that at least some has to play the role of prostitute, because there are some people they cannot be like that, and somehow other because of their situation they may have to take up role like that, but in the heart they are devotees of the Lord, like that. So very difficult for us to fathom how it was, but that is how the bhakti is. Bhakti is not one of the means of attaining jnana. Bhakti sometimes play the role of jnana's assistant only to support it. Therefore, only an animal would reject bhakti like this. Hmm.
इसमें वो वाला वो पॉइंट फिर से बता दे कि हाउ भक्ति डजंट डिपेंड इवन ऑन फेथ.
Bhakti does not depend on one's faith. He is telling in the sense is that that verse is saying that somebody chanting holy names of the Lord even without faith, still the holy name will give him the result like that. So see there are differences in the sense somebody does not have faith, so he can come to bhakti and bhakti can manifest in him. But now then how further he grows in bhakti, for that faith plays a very important role. But it's not that somebody has faith, then only bhakti will come. That is not necessarily. There are many examples. You might have heard that story how one pure devotee of Lord Narasimha, he was there and there was one hunter and he wanted to see Narasimha. The hunter asked him the details and he had no faith. But then he was thinking, having the faith on the devotee that there must be animal like this. And he was very seriously searching, hey, where are you? Whole forest I have searched. You know, you cannot go out of my this thing. You have to be there. And Lord Narasimha appeared. कि अरे इतना eager है ऐसा है. So bhakti has no limitations like that. Like that. So in essence, bhakti, most important part of that is bhaktya sanjayate bhaktya. Bhakti can come only by bhakti, nothing else. Like that. So now when we say this also, Agya Sukurti, in that also Agya Sukurti comes by bhakti only. He may happen to chant holy names of the Lord, he may happen to take to some devotional service because of some reason. So most important is this only, Bhaktya Sanjayate Bhaktya, that bhakti comes because of bhakti. Uh, so Agya Sukriti means unknowingly performing. हाँ बोलो बोलो आप.
आज मैं एक प्रभुपाद का पर्पट पढ़ रहा था गुरु जी.
हम्म.
उसमें प्रभुपाद अज्ञात सुकृति के बारे में लिख रहे थे.
हम्म.
उसमें प्रभुपाद लिख रहे हैं बट these अज्ञात सुकृति these are also planned. For example, Krishna comes like ordinary human being. He comes as a devotee Lord Chaitanya or sends his representative or sends spiritual master or pure devotee. This is also planned activity of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So इस प्रभुपाद is saying basically that अज्ञात सुकृति जीव होगा वो प्लान होता है.
Means Prabhupada here what is writing is that Krishna creates a system so that jivas can get Agyasukruti. Why devotees they travel? So that other living entities have opportunity for Agyasukruti. That's why it is mentioned sannyasi should travel. Because when they travel, then somebody keeps them in their house, Swamiji आइए. When they travel, somebody may give them Swamiji pani pijiye, like that. So they give opportunity for jivas to engage in अज्ञात सुकृति. अभी जैसे हमारे इतने सीनियर डिवोटी जो हैं फ्लाइट से जाते हैं, तो जो फ्लाइट चलाता होगा उसको अज्ञात सुकृति मिलता होगा. अरे स्वामी को लंदन से न्यूयॉर्क लेके चले गए. वो उसको तो बटन दबा रहे हैं लेकिन स्वामी तो बैठे हैं ना उसमें. ऐसा है. तो एक्चुअली डिवोटीज इसलिए जितना ट्रैवल करते हैं उतना बहुत सारे जीवों को ज्ञान सुकृति मिलता है. दैट्स व्हाई फॉर सन्यासी इट इज मेंशन ही शुड ट्रैवल like that. There are injunctions that a sannyasi should not stay in one place more than 3 days. Like that. He should travel like that.
गौर पूर्णिमा कैंप में डिस्कस किए गोविंद कॉलेज में हम लोगों की क्लास में बताया था कि हम भक्ति कर रहे हैं लेकिन अगर हमको इनिशिएशन नहीं मिलता तो हमने जो भक्ति की है वो अज्ञात सुकृति के फॉर्म में ही रह जाएगा. वो नेक्स्ट लाइन में कंटिन्यूएशन ऐसा.
ऐसा एग्जैक्ट लिटरली बोला.
हाँ हाँ.
तो आपने रेफरेंस नहीं पूछा.
नहीं नहीं मैं रेफरेंस लेकिन प्रभु ने ऐसा बोला.
हाँ लेकिन आई डोंट नो, वी हैव टू चेक विथ हिम व्हाट कंटेक्स्ट ही इज सेइंग, बट इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट. ऐसे तो फिर कोई हल्दर महाराज जी चीज़ बताते हैं इसमें भी कि गुरु भी कई प्रकार के होते हैं। तो एक तो है कि दीक्षा के रूप में गुरु मिल गया, एक होता है कि पिछले जन्म में आपको गुरु मिले, इस जन्म में गुरु नहीं मिले। एक होता है कि गुरु से जैसे कि एक डिवोटी का दीक्षा हो गया और उस डिवोटी ने आपको बोला कि प्रभु आप चैंटिंग करो, तो भी आप गुरु के आदेशों के अनुसार कर रहे हो। तो ऐसे कई स्तर पे हैं, गुरु के हिसाब से कृपा मिलता है हमको। तो हो सकता है किसी का भी इनिशिएशन नहीं हुआ है बट ही इज चैंटिंग एंड ही इज वांटिंग टू टेक इनिशिएशन, सून ही विल टेक इनिशिएशन। बट ऐसा नहीं है कि वो जो कर रहा है वो अज्ञात सुकृति में आएगा, वो भक्ति में आएगा। अज्ञात सुकृति इज अननोइंगली परफॉर्मिंग डिवोशनल सर्विस। ऐसा है, जो भी अननोइंगली परफॉर्म करते हैं उससे अज्ञात सुकृति मिलता है। There is one verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita that initiation also is not required. If one chants holy names of the Lord, he can perfect. लेकिन हम लोगों को क्या है, कृपा के लिए और होली नेम अच्छी तरीके से चैंटिंग करने के लिए हमको दीक्षा चाहिए, क्योंकि जो होली नेम गुरु के माध्यम से आएगा उसमें कृपा रहेगा और ज़्यादा, और हम लोगों को वो कृपा चाहिए। ऐसा है। तो वो ऐसा नहीं है क्योंकि हम लोगों को तो कोई डिवोटी बोला है ना चैंटिंग करने के लिए, तो इस तरीके से वो अज्ञात सुकृति नहीं होगा, हमको नॉलेज में हम चैंटिंग कर रहे हैं। सो अननोइंगली परफॉर्मिंग डिवोशन सर्विस, दैट इज अज्ञात सुकृति। knowingly performing devotional service, that will bring purification. So mostly this comes because of devotee of the Lord. This comes either directly in touch with bhakti or because of devotee of the Lord. So unknowingly, as I said, somebody may happen to chant, somebody may happen to pay obeisances to deity and like that. Unknowingly performing devotion service means because of Agyas Sukriti, he happens to meet a devotee of the Lord. So when this meeting happens, this meeting is not because of karma. This meeting is because of Agyas Sukriti. This meeting is very special. Then he is given knowledge and then he performs this. And when we do with knowledge and for pleasure of the Lord, then love for Lord awakens. Like that it happens. So when Agyas Sukriti is accumulated over years, we may have done some service unknowingly or whatever, then a devotee of the Lord will come in our life, and then we get connected to that devotee of the Lord. And then when we follow that devotee of the Lord, then purification happens. And slowly, as I was saying in the previous classes, the heart of bhakti is pleasure of the Lord. When we come to this, then Lord's love for the Lord awakens. Even if you are doing Arup Siddha Bhakti, that means they may not be directly Bhakti. As I was telling, building a temple, running a Govinda or so. So in the form they are not Bhakti, but in the consciousness they are Bhakti because you are doing for pleasure of Krishna. Then also they are pure devotional service. Sometimes we have Bhakti in the form, somebody chanting holy names of the Lord and this and that. But in the consciousness, they may not be a devotee. In the sense, they in consciousness they are not doing for pleasure of the Lord. So although the form is of pure devotion service, but because in the consciousness they don't have pure devotion service, it again gives them material results. So among the form and the spirit, which is more important? The spirit. If one's spirit is to do for pleasure of the Lord, like Arjuna, somebody is killing, that is pure devotion service. Somebody is chanting the holy names of the Lord, like that Ramdas Vipra, to become Lord Ram in the spirit. then that is not bhakti. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not wanted to embrace him, did not wanted to meet him like that. So why? Because the spirit is missing. And why devotees are very important in our life? We may get form of bhakti, but the spirit we can learn from devotees only. Sometimes we may learn to chant holy names of the Lord from here and there, but we not learn this spirit. This comes by seeing the devotees of the Lord. जैसे राधा गोविंद महाराज was telling, हम लोगों के लिए भगवान से ज़्यादा डिवोटीज को ग्लोरीफाई करना जरूरी है, क्योंकि हमें भगवान नहीं बनना है, भक्त बनना है. So you have to learn from a devotee how to be a devotee. अगर भगवान को ज़्यादा ग्लोरीफाई करेंगे तो फिर भगवान बनने का मन कर जाएगा. So we have to learn how to be devotees of the Lord like that. So that is why devotees play a very important role in one way to actually start bhakti, and they help us to have that spirit of bhakti. Otherwise form may be there, but then still because of not having the spirit, it may not help us to actually perform pure devotion service like this. And actually this Agyas gives rise to this Shraddha, and then from Shraddha will come Sadhu Sangha like this. Because of this spiritual Agyas being accumulated, we develop some Shraddha in the spiritual things. And then when sadhus they come in our life, then naturally we take advantage of their association. Like that it is. Shraddha, then sadhu sangha, like this. Functions of pure devotion, giving prema as a fruit. First function is to give pleasure favorable to the Lord. Desire nothing but loving service to Lord. Do devotion service to obtain Krishna. Second is desire to attain Krishna arises in devotee's heart to give pleasure to Krishna, not for pleasure of himself, my Lord. Why he want to have Krishna? To give pleasure to Krishna. Actually, this heart of bhakti is pleasure to the Lord, and then only we can go. Means in most of our case, why we want to go to Golok Vrindavan? अरे प्रभु जी तड़प रहे हैं यहाँ पर. वहाँ जाएंगे प्रभु जी, कल ब्रिज के नीचे बैठेंगे, बस अपना सर्कल बना लेंगे. और वहाँ तो क्या पेट भी खराब नहीं होगा, नींद भी नहीं आएगी, शरीर भी बॉडी पेन नहीं करेगा. But he has a desire to attain Krishna, to give pleasure to Krishna. So why devotee wants to go to Golok Vrindavan? So that he can have more service to Krishna, so that he can give more pleasure to Krishna. If devotee not desire bliss, then how will he attain it? Someone may say, if he is not desiring his own happiness, how will he have it? Bhakti is not Purushartha, it is the ultimate goal of life. So he is saying, Bhakti itself is bliss. It's not like that by doing bhakti he has to get something. Bhakti itself is bliss. The performance of the activities itself is bliss. Though a devotee does not desire bliss, he attains a spontaneous bliss by realizing the sweetness of ever blissful Krishna by serving his lotus feet. So although he does not desire, but the nature of bhakti is that he will get bliss. Bhakti is the internal potency of the Lord. So when a devotee performs bhakti, that is Ladani potency represented by Srimati Radharani. So Srimati Radharani shares her bliss with that devotee. So whatever happiness we get in bhakti is actually the happiness of Srimati Radharani. She shares, oh, he has done little bhakti, because she is representing bhakti and Ladani potency. So like touch stone becomes gold, same way transformation begins at Diksha. So bhakti definitions. So this is Vedi Bhakti and Raganuga Bhakti. So about Vedi it is mentioned. सासनेनेव शास्त्रस्य सा वेदी भक्तिर उच्यते. So what is Vedi sadhana bhakti? The impetus to perform sadhana bhakti is the instructions of the Guru Sadhu Shastra. That is Vedi sadhana bhakti. I don't have taste, but Guru has told me that I have to chant 16 rounds every day. I have to follow 4 principles. I have to attend morning program. I have to have a regulated life. I have to serve nicely. That is Vedi sadhana. Raga is Rago Atra Anuragas Tadruchicha. He has attraction and attachment. He'll be like chanting and then do to Prabhu, प्रसाद का टाइम हो गया. ओ पिछले 6 घंटे से मैं चैंटिंग कर रहा हूँ. ठीक है प्रभु आता हूँ. That is raga. But before that we have to do ragad. रागा से पहले रगड़ करना पड़ेगा भक्ति में. That is वेदी साधना भक्ति. डिवोटीज आपको खींच के तान के डरा के जैसे भी है भक्ति में लगाएंगे. So Vedi, Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Abhayam. Impetus to practice hearing and chanting in Vedi is freedom from miseries, attainment of bliss. So in Vedi they have these goals. एक तो है कि भैया गुरु साधु शास्त्र ने बोला है नरक में जाएंगे, ये डर है, दुखों से निवारण हो जाएगा, और ये लोग बात करते हैं कुछ तो हैप्पीनेस मिलेगा, अच्छा हैप्पीनेस मिलेगा. So one has these ambitions, motives. Why rough leaf? Bhakti means one desires to serve Lord affectionately, knowing them to be dear. Vedi, one serves him only because of one only wants to destroy one's suffering and accomplish one's happiness. So in Vedi, one has these kind of motives, which are not bad because that's how the start is. Like most of us came to devotion service with a hope that here I'll be more happy. Most of us are practicing devotion service with a hope that, material miseries will be less. Like that. That is how the Vedic sadhana bhakti is. Then Ragunuga. Bhakti following in the footsteps of Ragatmika bhakti of Brajvasis. And spontaneous, natural and intense absorption in Lord. Senses, sense objects and heart's love Krishna. So he is engaging all the sense objects in serving Krishna. His heart is having love for the Lord. So this is the cause of Raganuga Bhakti. Saranam, hearing excellence of mood of Ragatmikas. Lolyam, greed to obtain the mood of Ragatmika. Anugamam, when a devotee whose heart is pure, unconditioned from lust, anger, greed, envy. When he hears from the sadhus or shastras about the excellence of the mood of Braj associate, he develops a taste to attain that mood. So this is a very high stage. After Vedi comes Ragunaga. So what happens when your heart is pure and then you hear about some devotee who is serving Krishna in Vatsalya Bhav or in a Sakya Bhav or in a Madhurya Bhav, automatically your heart gets attracted to one of them. Either you will get very attracted to Vatsalya Bhav, you will get attracted to Sakya Bhav, or you will get attracted to Madhurya Bhav. And then what happens is you develop that greed. I also want like this. I want to serve Krishna like Yashoda Maiya. I want to serve Krishna like Devaki, like that. And then what happens is that he tries to follow those devotees who have this. And then he develops his mood to serve Krishna in that way. But this is after Anartha Nivarti is done. And then these are the claims. Avidya, Asmita, Rag, Dvesh, Abhinivesh. These are the layers of illusion given by Brahmaji. And 4 types of sin. Prarabdha, Aprarabdha, Kutam and Bijam. So when someone takes to even sadhana bhakti, Klesagni starts at sadhana bhakti also. So he's saying what all comes under Klesha. That is mentioned here. Avidya, Asmita, Rag, Dvesh and Abhinivesh. So avidya means temporary to be eternal, suffering to be happiness. That is avidya. Very crisp definition. considering asat to sat and suffering to be happiness. Asmita, false ego, bodily identification of I and mine. That is asmita. And then rag, attachment to the pleasures, dvesh, and avinivesh, attachment to sense enjoyment. Seven instruments of sense enjoyment, fear of losing instrument, death, etc. Then four types of sin: prarabdha, aprarabdha, kutam, and bijam. Klesa, then this is subha, subhadha. दुर विषय व्यतृष्ण भगवत विषय सतृष्ण अनुकूल कृपा क्षमा सत्य सरलया. These are subhadha means all auspicious qualities come. So you'll be endowed with all these quality. Dur vishaya vetrishnya. You will not get attracted to any vishaya. Bhagavat vishaya satrishnya. You will get attracted to the things which are related to Lord. Anukulaya. You will have you will try to have those things which are favorable for devotion service. Kripa, you will be compassionate. Shama, you will forgive. Satya, you will speak truth. Saralaya, you will be simple. Samya means samya. No, not equipoised. It could be equipoised. Samya is, what is samya? I think equipoised mostly. Then dherya, patience. Gambhiraya, grave. Mana dattva, this I don't know. Mana dattva, I think giving respect to others. And amanitva, not expecting respect. Sarv subhagatva, like this all auspiciousness comes. This is subha. Then bija, the seed form of propensity to sin, exist in the form of desire within the heart and mature into prarabdha by the will of the Lord. Jivas accept animal to demigod body to enjoy desires. Human body, complete field of doing all karmas, pious and impious. Demigods and animal body, sense enjoyment only. So what he's saying, only as a human being we earn our karma. In all other species, we just exhaust our karma. They are not earning. When a tiger is chasing a deer and killing him, he is not having sinful reaction. He had reaction that is getting exhaust. Same with the demigods, whatever enjoyment they are doing, whatever piety they have, they are finishing it off. But as a human body, you are earning karma. In human body, whatever activity we do, by that we earn our karma. And then so many planets and so many other species, we are exhausting our karma. Like that. Enjoying spirit, very strong, desires filled with prarabdha. Desires no chance get transformed into seed. Only human form is suitable for accumulation of new seeds of desire. So only in the human being it can happen. Human being is expert in desiring more than he is capable of enjoying. Like that. So, why sadhana bhakti is klesagani? As I was saying, at sadhana only klesagani can happen. And what all comes under klesagani? Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesa, vinesh, and prarabdha, aprarabdha, kutam, bijam. So, why sadhana bhakti is klesagani? It is mentioned. Sadhana bhakti, the power to destroy ignorance. Avidya destroyed, 422.39. Yat pad pankajah. Prarabdha destroyed, 333, 6. Destruction of avidya, destruction of other four klesas. Which are other four klesas? Asmita, raga, dvesa, vinivesha. Everything starts from avidya. And then other sins also. Like that. All good qualities dwell in the body of. So these two they come at level of sadhana bhakti, klesagni and subidha. So all good qualities they will dwell in the body of a Vaishnava. All qualities of Krishna exist in Krishna's devotee. The thought of giving pleasure to the Lord always illuminates the temple of his heart. Compassion, forgiveness, truthfulness, honesty, patience. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana. Klesagni and Subhida they appear simultaneously. Bhaktir pareshanubhavaha. So tushti, pushti, shut apayo. So you feel hunger is gone and you feel uh, satisfaction by the eating and you feel nourished by the eating. Similarly, bhakti. So like that he is mentioning. Where is this? Okay, so now this first shower we discussed. This is now second shower of nectar.
First shower of nectar was
You took so much shower. First shower of nectar was main essence was bhaktya sanjayate bhaktya. That was the essence. That how bhakti is supremely independent and bhakti can come only by bhakti. Like this. So in this work, one will not find a full discussion on dualism and monism. But for those who expect it, they may find it in another book called Aishwarya Katambani. There is another book by him. So there more details are mentioned about other these aspects. If any one of you want to know more, then you have to read that one. Then pure bhakti unmixed with karma and jnana is like a wish fulfilling creeper appearing in the field of the senses. This bhakti is the refuge of those devotees who firmly vow never to seek any fruit except bhakti. Like bees who are obsessed with the desire to taste only nectar. The very life of this creeper is a favorable attitude for the service for the pleasure of the Lord. Like a touchstone, the very presence of bhakti makes the heart and the senses gradually lose their iron like material qualities and acquire pure golden spiritual qualities. As a sprouting creeper grows upward and unfurls two leaves in the process of sadhana bhakti, the two qualities make their appearance. The first is klesagani and second is subhadha. Like that. So he's telling at level of a sadhana bhakti also, he can do pure bhakti, sadhana pure bhakti. And how this can happen? If it is unmixed with karma and jnana. So this kind of a sadhaka, he takes a dhriti vrataha, he takes a resolve. Never to seek any fruit except bhakti. Like bees who are obsessed with the desire to taste only nectar. Like bees, they just are wanting, I want only nectar, nothing else. So the very life of this creeper is a favorable attitude for the service for the pleasure of the Lord. So as a sadhaka also, when he has this attitude that I want to do something for pleasure of the Lord, let me chant for pleasure of the Lord, let me do for pleasure of the Lord, and he is not having material desires, he is not having any material desires. Then what happens is this creeper grows upward and then two leaves will come in the creeper. They are Klesa, Agni and Subhida. ऐसा तो उस लीव्स को आने के लिए भी एटीट्यूड चाहिए वरना हमारा क्रीपर ही ऐसे ऐसे घूम रहा है So the very life of this creeper is this attitude. How this creeper will grow? By this attitude. You see, in bhakti, this attitude is everything. For pleasure of Lord. This attitude is everything. And then two leaves will come. Kilesa Agni and Subhida. So Klesa Agni means relief from material distress, and Subhida means beginning of all auspiciousness. Then he's talking about Raganuga Bhakti. So he's saying both Raganuga and Vedi Bhakti equally manifest the symptom of Klesa Agni, relief from material distress, and Subhadha. As both Raga and Vedi Bhakti destroy Klesa, its 5 types will now be described. The literal meaning is suffering or affliction, but here the meaning may be taken as the cause of suffering. These klesas are the cause of sinful and pious activities which result in material misfortune or good fortune. Then he's saying this Vidya, Asmita, Rag, Dvesha, Abhinivesha. The stage in the development of sin, Prarabdha, Aprarabdha, Rudha, and Bija are also included in the klesha. As both types of bhakti eradicate klesha similarly, they bestow subha or auspiciousness. Subha or auspiciousness consists of such qualities as same what we discussed. That bhakti bestow these qualities is proven by such verses. Yasya asti bhaktir bhagavati akinchanaha. So first, the prospective devotee develops Shraddha or faith. Shraddha means to have firm faith in the import of the scripture dealing with bhakti. It also means to have a genuine desire to enthusiastically undertake the activities described in those scriptures. These two types of faith may be either natural or being convinced by the preaching of another. Okay, he just in a brief he is sharing now. We'll discuss more in detail. So he's saying faith has two aspects. One is having a faith in the scriptures. Second is having faith means trying to enthusiastically follow what is mentioned in the scriptures. So faith has these two aspects. Having a genuine desire, having faith means having a trust in the import of the scriptures, and also having a genuine desire to follow the activity mentioned in the scriptures. And these two types of faith may be either naturally swabhaviki or being bal utpadit, means somebody is heavily preaching do this, it's important, that is bal utpadit. Like we all mostly come in the category of bal utpadit. Swabhaviki means you went your own searching for the temple and then prove I want to do this, that is. लेकिन जो बहुत बटर हलवा खा के भक्त बने बटर हलवा खा के पुशिंग से बहुत फॉलोअप से, तो वो कौन सा कैटेगरी है? बल उत्पादित. And then however it develops faith leads him to take shelter of the lotus feet of the guru and inquire from him. By following this instruction, that person obtains the good fortune of relation with affectionate like-minded devotees and association of realized devotees, that is sadhu sangha. So he is quoting, briefly explaining this.
अच्छा
Okay, I think he has started in this discussion.
अच्छा प्रभु जी हर एक चैप्टर में स्टेजेस डिस्कस कर रहे हैं.
नहीं नहीं, from here he started discussion. That next chapter is Anatnavarti.
साधु संग भजन क्रिया ये सब उसमें है क्या प्रभु? वैदिक भक्ति में?
ऐसे भी बताया है, जो स्टार्टिंग के स्टेजेस हैं वो वेदी साधना भक्ति से रिलेट किया हुआ है, ऐसे भी है एक डिस्क्रिप्शन. एक्चुअली रागुनगा भी साधना ही भक्ति है. हाँ, आप लोगों ने पढ़ा नहीं भक्ति रस में सिंधु में? तीन प्रकार की भक्ति हैं: साधना भक्ति, भाव भक्ति, प्रेम भक्ति. करेक्ट ना? यही था ना, साधना भक्ति, भाव भक्ति, प्रेम भक्ति. साधना भक्ति में दो प्रकार की भक्ति है: वेदी साधना भक्ति, रागुनगा साधना भक्ति. हाँ, ऐसे. वेयर इज दैट? सेकंड सर्वर में थे हम लोग.
इन दोनों में डिफरेंस ये रहेगा कि जो नागरम में होता है वो नेचुरली होता है.
दे डू बिकॉज ऑफ टेस्ट. हाँ,
तो फिर आगे भाव भक्ति में क्या होता है प्रभु जी?
भाव भक्ति तो यू आर having those ecstasy, those symptoms of bhava. You are not on bodily platform then. Bhava is very high platform. So this first is Shraddha. So there are two kinds of Shraddha, as we were discussing, Swabhaviki and Bal Utpaditaha. However, it develops. Faith leads to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Guru and inquire from him about the proper conduct, Sadachar. By following his instructions, that person obtains the good fortune of relations with affectionate minded devotees, that is Sadhu Sangha, like this. So, about Shraddha, there are more details about Shraddha. So, this is about Shraddha. So, if you will find these stages and all, they are mentioned in one way. As such, see, in Bhakti, everything is connected to each other. So, we see how as a devotee grows, then his faith also increases on the Lord. So, you can say that also as a journey of faith. You can say as a journey of the spiritualization of ego. Is it not? Same way, Shraddha also, it is mentioned that how Shraddha also is very important. Then this is mentioned, युक्ति न केवलया, only युक्ति से भक्ति का ज्ञान नहीं हो सकता है. क्या दोष है? तस्य अप्रतिष्ठा, तारक की प्रतिष्ठा नहीं है. कोई सिद्धांत स्थापित करता है, फिर कोई और बुद्धि वाला आ गया तो दूसरा सिद्धांत साबित कर देता है। श्रद्धा और युक्ति दोनों हैं तो अच्छा है। केवल श्रद्धा है तो भी कोई हानि नहीं है। केवल युक्ति से भौतिक ज्ञान तो कोई हासिल कर सकता है, लेकिन भक्ति का ज्ञान नहीं आ सकता है, ऐसा है। So basically yukti means the knowledge or intelligence he has. So among these two also more important is shraddha, faith. श्री कृष्ण भजने हय सबे अधिकारी किवा विप्र किवा शूद्र की पुरुष नारी. So he is saying, and this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sri Krishna bhajane haya sab adhikari. Everyone is eligible for Krishna bhakta. He is saying, Kiva vipra kiva sudra ki purusha nari. You know, then how does it matter whether he is a Brahmana, Sudra, or a male or a female? And then it states, Shraddhavan janaya bhakti adhikari. Only eligible candidate is Shraddha. And in that also comes, no, in when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu is singing, no, Shraddhavan jan hai, Shraddhavan jan hai. That he has opened a marketplace and you can come, only price you have to pay is Shraddha. Like that. So faith is necessary not only in the practice of bhakti, but in the practices of karma, jnana and yoga also. Without faith, one cannot achieve perfection in any pursuit or practice. Prabhupada says practically the whole world is running because of faith. People have faith, if I get money, I'll be happy. People have faith, if I do this, I'll get this. Is it not? Prabhupada says if you go to a barber shop, you allow him to keep a knife close to your neck because you have faith, he will not cut. When we sit in train, we have faith that Indian government has placed a driver who is properly trained, right? Otherwise, we sat in that Mahakumbh special, driver went away only. He went away or he slept. Something happened, no, that time.
Long driving.
No. Something happened, no? People were saying कि वो भाग गया, सो थक गया था, सोने के लिए चला गया. Like that they were saying.
Time खत्म हो गया था.
All right. So you practically see faith plays a very important role, is it not? And then, so he's saying in every practice, faith is important. Then he's quoting 17.28. Asraddhaya hetum dattam tapas taptam kirtam cha yat asad iti uchyate partha tacha tat pretya no eha. Vasana pratha, sacrifice, austerity, charity, or any other act performed without faith is referred to as asat, unreal. Such activities give no transcendental result either in this world or next. So, how much faith is important? Actually, faith in one way can be a part of attitude only. That I have faith, like that. And then Krishna reciprocates to that attitude, to that faith of a practitioner. So definition of Shraddha. So this is a definition of Shraddha given. So this is from many different acharyas. I don't know which acharyas versus which one, but they are from acharya's commentary. Tatra bhakti adhikarinah pratamam Shraddha sa cha tat chat shastrarthe drid pratvaya mai प्रक्रम्यमानः यत्नेक निदान रूप तद विश्याकतवेः कनिवार रूप सदा स्पृह च सच सा च स्वभाविकी केनापि बलाद उत्पादिता च. जो आपने पढ़ा वही लिखा है कि स्वाभाविकी एंड बल उत्पादिती. और जो है प्रथमम श्रद्धा, दैट इज तत्र भक्ति अधिकारिणः प्रथमम श्रद्धा स च तच्च शास्त्रार्थे दृढ़ प्रत्यया मयि. So Bhavanuvas, an awakening of Shraddha is the first symptom that appears in those eligible to attain bhakti. Because अज्ञात सुकृति से क्या हो जाता है, श्रद्धा आती है. तो वही बताया, is the first symptom that appears in those who are eligible to attain bhakti. Shraddha is unyielding faith in the statement of devotional scripture, a desire to perform the practice prescribed in those scriptures. These are two aspects of faith, right? You have faith in the scriptures, they are important, and you want to follow what is written in the scriptures. They both are aspect of Shraddha. Now they come Swabhaviki or by forcibly induced by someone. तुम कैसे कर सकते हो, पढ़ा नहीं है गीता में तुमने, हमको ये करना है, like that. और स्वाभाविक ही प्रभु जी गीता में लिखा है, मैं कैसे इसको नहीं करूं, ये करना चाहिए. So first part of definition is tatra bhakti adhikarena pratamam shraddha, tat shraddha shastrartha drid pratamai. So to have faith in the bhakti scriptures is called shraddha. Bhakti pradipadik ग्रंथ में विश्वास को श्रद्धा कहते हैं. तो श्रीला कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी से श्रद्धा शब्द विश्वास कहे सुदृढ़ निश्चय कृष्ण भक्ति कैला सर्व कर्म कीर्त हया. So he is defining that Shraddha means that firm conviction. If I worship Krishna, everything else will be automatically accomplished. That Dridhta, devotee of the Lord, should have. If I chant holy names of the Lord, and there are devotees who had this, that if I do this, then everything else will be accomplished. If I please Krishna, then everything else will happen, like that. So devotee should have this Shraddha, that spiritual life is very important. Sometimes to take care of our material life, we compromise our spiritual life. Not knowing that spiritual life, if I take care, everything else will happen. And it is a fact, because Lord as a super soul is sitting in the heart of everyone, everything of this world, like that. And that's why you'll find when His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj once was called by Prabhupada, and Prabhupada told him that you have to chant 24 hours a day, and for 7 days. Giriraj Maharaj said, Prabhupada, devotees are so much busy, engaged, how that can happen? Services will get affected. So then Prabhupada said, so Prabhupada, if you are so much wanting, we can do only once in a day, once in a week. And Prabhupada said, okay. And he said, Prabhupada, we can do only for 12 hours. Prabhupada said, okay, you do this. Then they decided every Sunday 12 hours we'll have Kirtan. And then he comes to Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Are Prabhu, मैंने बचा लिया भक्तों को. Prabhupada ji wanted, whole week Kirtan, but I reduced it to 1 day a week. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj told Prabhupada wanted that only. Like that. Sometimes you'll find devotees are very tricky. Prabhupada is like that only. Say maybe here now that Shyam Sundar Prabhu never wanted to become temple president. And he came from somewhere. This news came to him that Prabhupada is wanting him to make temple president. So he prepared all the arguments. That Prabhupada will ask this, I'll tell this. Prabhupada will ask this, I'll tell this. And I'll not take up this temple presidentship. So he comes to Prabhupada, he pays and says, yes, Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, I'm thinking that you should take sannyas. Prabhupada! I'm married. I'll talk to, she's my disciple only. Prabhupada, how I can take sannyas? No, I'll give. Prabhupada, I'm not qualified. Don't worry, I'll give. Bless you. क्या बोलेंगे प्योर डिवोटी? प्रभुपाद कुछ और दे दो इसको छोड़ के. Become temple president. ये सारे आर्गुमेंट्स धरे रह गए. Like that. So devotee of the Lord should have this faith. If I worship Krishna, then I am doing best service. Best thing I am doing which is in my hand. Like you will see, world is not in our hand. There are people, they will die, they will die. There are situations, they will happen, they will happen. But what is in our hand is we can take shelter of Krishna. And He can make difference. Is it not? We go to some situation and where some person is about to leave, we can't do much. We can take holy names of the Lord, pray to Krishna, and you find Krishna can help him. Like that. So devotee should have this faith. And second part of definition is prakyamana yatanek nidan roop tad vishaya katvek nirvaha roop sadar is priya chaha. भक्ति को जो प्रैक्टिस करना है उसमें आदर के साथ, स्प्रा मीन्स उत्साह, वहां पर आया था ना, इंतुजाजम के साथ. पहला डेफिनेशन क्या था फेथ का? शास्त्र पे विश्वास रखना. दूसरा डेफिनेशन क्या है, फेथ का जो शास्त्र में लिखा है उसको स्प्रहा के साथ, इंतुजाजम के साथ में प्रैक्टिस करना। शास्त्र के वचन में विश्वास एंड भक्ति के आचरण में उत्साह या स्प्रा, ये दोनों श्रद्धा हैं। तो दूसरा डेफिनेशन क्या था, दूसरा एस्पेक्ट क्या है, स्प्रा रहना, इंतुजाजम रहना भक्ति के कार्यों में। अगर ये नहीं है तो दैट मीन्स वी आर लैकिंग फेथ, करेक्ट। सो व्हेन वी गेट अपॉर्चुनिटी चैंट, oh let me chant, such opportunity I received by mercy of the Lord. Next, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur describes the second symptom of Shraddha. When a person becomes particularly diligent in executing a devotional service delineated in the scriptures and exhibited a reverent desire to execute those practices, that too is called Shraddha. This is same. So reverent desire means with a lot of this thing that it is such a special thing which I am getting to do. Let me go for Mangalarti. Let me go for chanting. Let me go for class. So that is reverent desire, right? Reverence, you understood reverence, right? That is reverent desire. You have a lot of respect for it. In matter now, Srila Jiva Goswami writes in Bhakti Sandarbha Anucheda 173. किंच जातायां श्रद्धायां सिद्धः असिद्धः च स्वर्ण सिद्धिल सर इव सदा तत् अनुवर्ति चेष्टेव स्यात् सिद्धि चातरणः करना कामादि दोषयकारी परमानंद परम कास्ताग्नि श्रीहरि स्फुरेन रूपेव गेह तस्यां स्वार्थ साधनानुवर्तो च दम प्रतिष्ठा लिप्सादि मय चेष्टा लेशोपि न भवति न सुतराम ज्ञान पूर्वकम महद अवज्ञदो पराधाश्चापत्ति विरोधाद एव यदि वा सद्वातोपि प्रारब्धादिवशेष विषय संबंधानो भयासो भवति तथापि तद बाधया विषया संबंध समयेपि दैन्यात्मिका भक्तिर् एवोच्चलिता स्यात् शास्त्र्याध्यायान् तु जातायां सदुर्जातवत्व योगस्यात् पर पत्नी पर द्रव्य इति आद विष्णु तोषण शास्त्र विरोधात। तो ये आपको अगर संदर्भ पढ़ने हैं तो ऐसे हैं। तो ये जी गोस्वामी ने भक्ति संदर्भ में लिखा है, अनुच्छेद 173। इतना टेक्निकल है ना संदर्भ जी गोस्वामी का, और इतना टेक्निकल समझाते कि बाप रे बहुत मुश्किल है। अभी मैं क्रम संदर्भ पढ़ा तो समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा था। आपको बहुत पीसफुल माइंड सुबह सुबह पढ़ोगे तो थोड़ा समझ में आएगा, दोपहर में और डिस्ट्रक्टिव माइंड के साथ तो बिल्कुल नहीं आएगा। बट यू सी हाउ मच our acharyas have worked hard to give such wisdom so that we have extreme clarity what is what. So he is now translating, when people believe in the value of gold, they are seen to toil endlessly with great effort to attain it, right? Like Gaurang Prabhu says, you know, कोई अगर बॉक्स मिला है और ऐसे ही कोई सपोज 40 किलो का कोई वजन वाला बॉक्स है, कुछ नहीं है उसके अंदर, ऐसे ही है, और आप किसी व्यक्ति को बोलो ए चलो इसको उठा के लेके चलो, नहीं मैं नहीं उठा पाऊंगा इसको, किसी और से उठवा लीजिए। लेकिन सपोज वो 40 किलो का बॉक्स है और उस पूरा गोल्ड बिस्किट से भरा है, और उस व्यक्ति को आप बोलते हैं आप लेके जा सकते हैं अगर चाहिए तो, अरे जरूर जरूर, आपको कोई हेल्प नहीं, कोई हेल्प नहीं चाहिए, मैं अकेला ले जाऊँ। ले जाएगा कि नहीं ले जाएगा, आराम से, करेक्ट। और बीच में कोई साहब हेल्प कर, नहीं नहीं कोई हेल्प, दूर रहो, कोई नहीं जाएगा मेरे बीच में, करेक्ट। और वो रुकेगा, तेज भागेगा जल्दी से जल्दी, कैसे मैं अपने घर पे पहुंचूं और इसको खोल के फिर तिजोरी में रखूं। सेम थिंग इज सेइंग, when people believe in the value of gold, they are seen to toil endlessly, they work so hard whether they manage to obtain it or not, correct। उनको पता है ये बहुत अच्छा है। अब जैसे लोग पैसे के लिए कितना भागते हैं, कितना मेहनत करते हैं, चाहे भले मिले या ना मिले, लेकिन मेहनत तो हर कोई करता है। भक्ति में आते हैं तो लोग सवाल पूछने लग जाते हैं, कुछ मिल नहीं रहा है, कुछ मिल नहीं रहा है, जबकि मेहनत नहीं करेंगे। लेकिन आप देखिए कितने कॉलेजों में लोग पढ़ाई करते हैं, कितनों के प्लेसमेंट हो पाते हैं, सबके नहीं हो पाते हैं, करेक्ट। वैसे ही लोग कितना मेहनत करते हैं, अमेरिका में जाएंगे, फर्जी वीजा बनाएंगे, फिर अमेरिका वाले बोलेंगे वापस भागो फिर वापस यहाँ जाएंगे। करेक्ट। Similarly, upon awakening of Shraddha, a sadhaka is seen to continually endeavor to perform bhajan under the guidance of exalted personalities. Whether he attains perfection or not, one should understand that here the word perfection means that internally one receives a glimpse of Sri Hari, an experience affording the pinnacle of supreme ecstasy. Such a glimpse thoroughly destroys internal fault like lust in the heart of a sadhaka. A faithful person who has achieved perfection strives for excellence in that perfection, and a faithful person who has not achieved perfection strives to attain it. Not even the slightest trace of conceit or desire for fame remains in the heart of such faithful devotee. The faithful soul never consciously disobeys or offends pure devotees, for such an act is completely at odds with his attempt to achieve perfection in bhajan. If, due to the result of the previous impression, a faithful person sees that he still has attachment to material sense objects, he understands such attachment to be an hindrance to his bhajan, and devotion imbued with humility manifest within him. A faithful person never exhibits poor character. Whether they get gold or not, still they keep putting effort. Same way साधक के बारे में बताया माय लॉर्ड, तो श्रद्धा के साथ में साधना करना भी बहुत बड़ा स्टेज है करेक्ट। तो श्रद्धा के साथ में जब साधक है, चाहे परफेक्शन मिले या न मिले, वो बहुत मेहनत से करता है, क्योंकि उसको पता है कि जैसे गोल्ड है वैसे ही परफेक्शन इसमें मिलेगा, जो है भगवान का दर्शन, भगवान की कृपा। और जब वो मिल जाता है तो उसमें वो और जो है अचीव करना चाहता है। जब उसको भगवान के दर्शन मिल जाते हैं तो ही वांट्स टू हैव एक्सीलेंस इन दैट परफेक्शन, मीन्स हैविंग पर्सनल रिलेशनशिप विद द लॉर्ड। और वो किसी चीज़ से अफेक्ट नहीं होता है जो उसके इस परफेक्शन के बीच में आएगी। वो कभी भी किसी वैष्णव का अपराध नहीं करेगा, क्योंकि इट इज़ अ हिंड्रेंस इन हिज भजन। Neither will become attached to name, fame and everything else, knowing well that they are obstacle in my bhajan. And although he has attachments, ये बहुत important line बताया देखो, he understand that he has attachment and such attachment can be hindrance to his bhajan, but still he will never exhibit poor character, because he wants to come out of it and he wants to embrace bhakti. So all the attachments are there, but then he will try his best to not fall into it. तो बहुत एक ऑनेस्ट इंडेवर है साधका का कि मुझे भगवान चाहिए। व्हाट इट मीन्स इफ आई गेट कृष्णा प्रेम, व्हाट आई इफ आई गेट दर्शन ऑफ द लॉर्ड। गोल्ड ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड is ultimately material thing which will remain here, but if I get the darshan of the Lord, then actually I can get satisfaction. So he knows that and he works for it. अब देखो इस दुनिया में हम जिस भी चीज़ों के लिए इतना मेहनत करते हैं, पहला तो है कितना भी मेहनत करें देयर इज अनसर्टेनिटी हाउ मच वी विल गेट इट। सेकेंड इज इवन इफ वी गेट इट दे विल नॉट सेटिस्फाई अस। थर्ड इज वेदर दे सेटिस्फाई नॉट सेटिस्फाई वी विल श्योरली लूज देम बट स्टिल वी वर्क वेरी हार्ड, राइट। घर बन जाए, बंगला बन जाए, धन आ जाए, बैंक बैलेंस हो जाए, बट वी डोंट वर्क हार्ड टू अटेन कृष्णा बिकॉज ऑफ हैविंग अट्रैक्शन टू मटेरियल थिंग्स। बट आप देखो जब भगवान से जितना पास में जाएंगे उतना सेटिस्फेक्शन मिलेगा, उतना भगवान हमसे प्रेम करेंगे, और वो शाश्वत रिलेशनशिप है, शाश्वत इन्वेस्टमेंट है जो आप वहाँ पर कर रहे हैं। उसको छोड़ के जितने भी इन्वेस्टमेंट हैं वो फ्यूटाइल है, क्योंकि सब खत्म हो जाएगा। दैट्स व्हाई भागवतम सेज ना, फॉर अ मटेरियलिस्ट whatever they are doing with every sun setting, that is waste. But for a pure devotee, their days are not waste. If he could chant for some time, read for some time, hear for some time, serve for some time, like that. And devotee has this, that although mind may be attracted to material things, he says, no, I cannot go against my guru's order. I cannot do anything else. Especially he does not exhibit poor character. In any condition, he will not break for regulative principles, like that. So Shastra says, पर पत्नी पर द्रव्य पर हिंसायो मतिम ना करोति पुमान भूपः तुष्येत केन केशव विष्णु प्राण। Sri Kesava is pleased O king, by one whose mind does not dwell upon another man's wife or wealth, or upon committing violence to others. That is a verse. पर पत्नी पर द्रव्य, अगर किसी का मन दूसरों की पत्नियों पे नहीं लगता है, या दूसरों की वेल्थ पे नज़र नहीं डालता है, या कुछ ऐसा काम नहीं करता है जिससे कि दूसरों को दुख आए, तो कौन खुश हो जाता है? भगवान विष्णु खुश हो जाते हैं. दे अपेयर टू डेफिनेशन, नो, यह सिद्धांतिक परिभाषा है, वह व्यवहारिक परिभाषा है.
ये बिहेवियर है और ऊपर वाला सिद्धांत.
Okay, he is telling in that sense that one definition is that he should have faith in the scripture. Second definition is he should have spra for the activities which are mentioned in the scriptures. So he's saying there it appears that there are two definitions. He's saying no. One is Siddhantik Paribhasa and one is Vyavaharik Paribhasa. Siddhantik is he has faith in the scriptures, and Vyavaharik is he is following the scriptures. Like that. So one's Shraddha determines one's eligibility for Bhakti. तो ये सब चीज़ों में अधिकार होते हैं, जैसे कर्म अधिकार, ज्ञान अधिकार, वैसे ही भक्ति अधिकार भी होता है. तो कितना किसका भक्ति अधिकार है वो डिपेंड करता है किसका कितना ज़्यादा श्रद्धा है. अब जैसे जिनका श्रद्धा ज़्यादा है, देयर आर पीपल हु आर चैंटिंग 32 राउंड्स एवरी डे, देयर आर पीपल हु आर चैंटिंग 64 राउंड्स एवरी डे. लेकिन हम जैसे ही सुनते हैं तो हमारे मन में क्या विचार आता है? क्यों? क्योंकि हमारा श्रद्धा उतना नहीं है, तो उतना भक्ति का अधिकार हमारे पास नहीं है. व्हाट टू से ऑफ गोड़ा केस टू चैंटिंग 122 128 राउंड्स एवरी डे, वो सुन के तो हमारे को अगर 128 करें डेली तो सारे इंद्रियां बाहर आ जाएंगी बॉडी से. नहीं रहना है शरीर में, तंग कर दिया है हम लोगों को. वी आर सो अनहैप्पी, फ्रस्ट्रेटेड विद दिस पर्सन. अपना माइंड का क्या होगा? 128 राउंड चैंट करेंगे, माइंड बोलेगा. हाँ, एक चीज कर सकते हैं, ये जो हम कैंप करेंगे, if not more, at least 32 we can try chanting every day मॉर्निंग से. ठीक है, शेड्यूल बना के 32 करते हैं, देखते हैं. एटलीस्ट 10 दिन का यात्रा रहेगा तो 10 दिन 32 करके ही देख लेते हैं, कुछ तो एक्सपीरियंस मिले.
हमारा 4 घंटे भक्ति में था, तो 6 घंटा देना पड़ेगा.
कोई बात नहीं, मतलब करेंगे 32, सोना नहीं. 32 नहीं, करना ही 32, कैसे भी करके सिर इधर उधर लगा 32 करेंगे. भगवान बोले, भगवान ट्राई तो कर रहे हैं, प्रयास चल रहा है. तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, अधिकार, भक्ति अधिकार. तो जैसा श्रद्धा बढ़ेगा वैसा भक्ति अधिकार हो जाता है. ऐसा आप देखो जो ग्रेट सोल हैं, दे आर सो हैप्पी बीइंग विद कृष्ण. मुझे याद है जब कोविड टाइम था तो एक लेक्चर राधानाथ महाराज जी का अरेंज किया था ऑनलाइन, तो सब डिवोटीज कनेक्ट हुए थे इधर उधर से. तो फिर महाराज बोले, आई एम सो अमेजिंग, ऑल so much traveling, so much going here, there. Because of COVID, it is such a blessing. I am here, and wherever I would go, so many devotees would try to serve me. But here I am alone. I am cooking my khichdi, offering to the Lord, chanting my rounds, and so nicely I am able to chant. It's such amazing. All is mercy of the Lord. Like that, Maharaj. मैंने कहा क्या है, अमेजिंग है. कहीं और महाराज कैसी है, कहीं रहेंगे, खुश रहेंगे. तो why? Because they have that adhikar, so they can be happy in all situations. They don't get affected by glamour, name, fame of this world, like that. Otherwise you see how much we get affected. एक मोबाइल डिस्चार्ज हो गया तो उसमें टेंशन आ जाता है, चार्जर कहाँ है. Right. So one Shraddha determines one's eligibility for bhakti. There is one lecture I'll send to all of you about bhakti adhikar by His Holiness Gaur Govind Maharaj. So you can hear that lecture. Maharaj beautifully talks about that. You can perform bhakti as per your adhikar. How much adhikar you have, that much you can do bhakti. So then he is quoting from Chaitanya Charitamrita. श्रद्धावान जन है भक्ति अधिकार उत्तम मध्यम कनिष्ठ श्रद्धा अनुसारी शास्त्र युक्त सुनीपन दृढ़ श्रद्धा जार उत्तम अधिकारी से तार्य संसार शास्त्र युक्ति नहीं जाने दृढ़ श्रद्धावान मध्यम अधिकारी से ही माँ भगवान जाहार कोमल श्रद्धा से कनिष्ठ जाने क्रमे क्रमे ते हो भक्ते हुए उत्तम. तो क्या बताया है? कनिष्ठ मध्यम उत्तम दे आर ऑल्सो एज पर द श्रद्धा. Kanishta means he has a very komal Shraddha. Kanishta means any time he can become a non-devotee because his Shraddha is very komal. Somebody will send some video on YouTube. देखो ये क्या है, बाबा ब्रह्मचारी बन रहे हैं. तो कोमल श्रद्धा ना, श्रद्धा will get affected like that. It's very komal श्रद्धा. और you may go to Kumbh Mela and then hey ISKCON में हो गया, इधर आओ मैं बताता हूँ. So there's one devotee in our voice here only, Rohit Prabhu. So he was from BHU college. So he was very nice devotee and he had desired to join and things like that also. So what happened? We went to Vrindavan, and in Vrindavan, in that Gurukul building old, we were staying. So in that only many brahmacharis also would come from many places. They also would be there. So early morning he went for taking his dhoti, and that time brahmachari from some temple was there. And he happened to ask him, कहाँ से हो? तो इन्होंने बताया मैं ऐसे ऐसे वॉइस से हूँ. तो उन्होंने डिटेल पूछा किन से संपर्क में हो. तो ही टोल्ड माई काउंसलर इज NKD और राधेश्याम प्रभु जी का जो सिस्टम है वो हम फॉलो करते हैं वॉइस का. देन ही टोल्ड अरे मैं तुमको सब बताता हूँ, ये लोग बताएंगे नहीं तुमको. फिर बताया ऐसे सिस्टमेटिक उनको, तुमको ये करेंगे वो करेंगे, ब्रह्मचारी बना देंगे और फिर ऐसा सेवा कराएंगे, सेवा करने के बाद में फिर तुम्हारे को कुछ दिक्कत आएगी तो मंदिर से भगा देंगे, और ये सब तुम्हारे काउंसलर भी नहीं बताएंगे, ये मैं बता रहा हूँ. ऐसा करके, ये तो छोटा एस्पेक्ट है, उन्होंने बहुत नेगेटिव बोला. तो उसके बाद में वो बहुत फायरी डिवोटी था. वो नेगेटिविटी सुनने के बाद में एकदम वो हो गया, उसका जो है फेथ अफेक्ट हो गया, बिकॉज ही वॉज न्यू डिवोटी ना. सो कोमल श्रद्धा like that. So sometimes people hear such negativity like that, and then their shraddha gets affected like that. So Raisham Guru was telling very nice. He was telling that he wanted to join. So some people came and they told him, अरे तुमको नहीं पता है, ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा, ऐसा हो जाएगा, वैसा हो जाएगा, ये वो. तो Raisham Guru told, you got negative experience, what can I do? I got positive experience, I am going. Like that. So what happens sometimes they generalize their experience, and they don't speak that why they got negative experience. They speak the other side of the story only. If you go and hear the authorities, why this devotee is speaking like this, then they will say, this fellow, this fellow created havoc. And that's why Haldar Maharaj says, na, मंदिर से किसी को कोई निकालता नहीं है, लेकिन जब कोई बहुत अपराध करता है तब ठाकुर जी निकालते हैं उसको. ऐसा. Otherwise, why Krishna will leave any living entity who has come to take his shelter? And only reason is offenses. Because of offenses one goes, or because of attraction to women one goes. These are two main things. So he's saying actually the journey is a journey of faith. So especially for a Kanishta, new devotees, they have to be very careful. That's why for new devotees we tell them, right, you don't associate much with other devotees without asking. We will tell you which devotee you should talk, which devotee you should not talk. In fact, we tell don't hear also anything without asking. But once you reach to a mature stage, then you can hear, you will not become disturbed. What happens, some devotee comes, he speaks out Suddha Bhakti, we are wasting our time. What is this? People are going for funds, people are going for temple construction, people are going for running Govindas. We are not doing Sarup Siddha Bhakti, how will have Krishna Prem? And then devotees get affected by that. Correct? But when you become mature, somebody will say, Varnashrama, Prabhupada wanted 50% Varnashrama, that work is remaining. And now there are devotees, they speak this also, अभी देखो बांग्लादेश में क्या हो रहा है, कल भारत में भी होगा, हम लोग शांत बैठे हैं, हम लोगों को अपनी आर्मी खड़ी करनी चाहिए. There are devotees like that also now. So our Shraddha has to become mature. So in our case, one thing very important is, we should very nicely read Prabhupada books so that we have very clear understanding about the scriptures as per what Prabhupada wanted. See, the heart of ISKCON is the teachings of Prabhupada. What is ISKCON? In one way, ISKCON is Prabhupada only. ISKCON is not temple structures and things. ISKCON means Prabhupada. So we have to thoroughly read and understand what Prabhupada wanted us to say. And second is, we should have some devotee in our life and we should become loyal servant to them so that they can properly guide us in our bhakti. See, first thing is getting good devotees in our life. Second is, if we don't have good attitude, even if you have good devotees, then they'll not be able to help us. Is it not? So getting good devotees also is important, and having an attitude to loyally follow them, that also is very important. If we have this, then we are very safe. From Prabhupada's teachings, we are getting thorough understanding what is and what is not. And we have good devotees to guide us, and we are trying to become loyal servant to them. And if we have some doubt, some things, then we should open our heart. We should not keep in our heart. We should open our heart that I felt like that, I heard like that, he spoke like that, something like that. Otherwise, I have seen a lot of distractions. What devotee was saying, Vrindavan has become a place of 1% devotion and 99% deviation. Like that. You will surprised. We have lost devotees. The one devotee from University Voice, he has joined Gaudiya Math. And this, I'll not tell the name of Gaudiya Math, in Vrindavan he has joined. So I asked him that, अरे why you joined there? So प्रभु जी आप लोग ISKCON में जो है वो सिर्फ सीड डालते हो और उनको प्योर भक्ति नहीं देते हो, उनको सिर्फ सेवा में लगा के रखते हो, हम लोग यहाँ पर प्योर भक्ति करते हैं. तो मैं उनसे पूछा क्या करते हो प्योर भक्ति में? हम लोग 32 माला रोज करते हैं. बोला ठीक है, और क्या करते हो? हम लोग सेवा करते हैं. तो हम तो सेवा हम भी करते हैं, और क्या करते हो? हम लोग और गहराई से प्योर भक्ति के बारे में मंथन करते हैं. तो मैं कहा वो प्योर भक्ति है क्या, उसके लिए मंथन करते हैं? So like that, his idea is, if I chant 32, 64, that I can practice pure devotion service. तो मैं उनको बोला आप डेट नोट कर लो कब से चैंटिंग कर रहे हो, और कुछ सालों के बाद मैं आपको फ़ोन करूँगा कि आप इतना कर रहे हो कि नहीं कर रहे हो, क्योंकि यू नीड अधिकार टू चैंट लाइक दैट. You cannot, they get affected by the emotions of some people like that. Can you chant 64 rounds every day? Not possible. You cannot become a pure devotee like a rocket. Pure devotee like that. So what Prabhupada has given, that is best. There is one devotee who left ISKCON, went to Gaudiya Math, took sannyas from Gaudiya Math, and then he saw यहाँ पर ज़्यादा engagement नहीं है. Again he came back to ISKCON. ISKCON ने बोला अब अलाउड नहीं है. अरे बोर हो जाएंगे हम लोग वहाँ जाके. कुछ है ही नहीं. आप देखो ISKCON टेम्पल्स में जाओ, थ्राइविंग रहते हैं, राइट? कहीं प्रसादम बन रहा है, किचन बन रहा है, मैनेजमेंट बन रहा है, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है, ऐसा करके थ्राइविंग रहता है. कहीं प्रोग्राम हो रहा है, कोई आ रहा है, कोई जा रहा है, फेस्टिवल्स इतने कलरफुल. कहीं गौड़िया मठ में आप जाओ, कुछ है ही नहीं उनके में. सब सन्यासी वगैरह आ जाएंगे राजभोग आरती में और बजाएंगे बड़े बड़े चीज़. देखा आपने उनके कीर्तन ऐसे बजाएंगे, और कोई पूछेगा भी नहीं आपको, नया व्यक्ति है तो. ISKCON में आप जाइए, छोड़ेंगे नहीं आपको. चौपाटी का आप देखना हर संडे फेस्टिवल के बाद. आप में से कितने लोग पहली बार आए हैं यहाँ पर, खड़े हो जाइए. तो आप लोग वहाँ पर जाइए, वहाँ पर ये प्रभु हैं, आप सब लोगों को राधा गोपीनाथ जी का प्रसाद दिया जाएगा, वेलकम किट दिया जाएगा, फोटो दिया जाएगा, और मंदिर से जुड़ने के बारे में जानकारी दी जाएगी. हरे कृष्णा, बैठ जाइए. फिर वहाँ चले जाएंगे, फिर उनको प्रसाद दिया जाएगा, बताया जाएगा, ऐसा ऐसा. So, but what happens is, if we are not deep-rootedly connected to Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara, then there is opportunity that our Shraddha may get affected by hearing from so many things. And it happens. I also have heard. ISKCON में क्या है, मैनेजमेंट करते हैं, प्लानिंग करते हैं, वो करते हैं. But we have to know the heart of bhakti is not the external activities. As I was sharing, even Swarup Siddha bhakti can become mundane, in the sense it will not give, transcendental result, if our heart is not to do it for pleasure of Krishna, is not. And artificially we cannot have this feeling unless our heart is pure and we get mercy of a devotee of the Lord, is it not? So Prabhupada is amazingly knowing our nature, is so amazingly engaging us practically in the service of the Lord. At the same time, helping us to cultivate this bhava also, where we can offer everything for pleasure of the Lord, like that. So we should, if anyone we meet like this, he says, we should say, thank you very much, Prabhu. You continue, I will continue, like that. So I had asked him one question, क्योंकि वो लोग क्या करते हैं, इस्कॉन के मंदिर के बाहर खड़े होके ऐसी किताबें बांटते हैं, शुद्ध भक्ति, प्रेम भक्ति, इस टाइप के. तो मैं उनको बोला, अरे आपको अगर प्रीचिंग करना ही है तो इतना सारा दुनिया बाकी है, जैसे इस्कॉन प्रीच करता है आप लोग करो, इस्कॉन वाले ही उनको क्यों पकड़ रहे हो? तो बोला, नहीं नहीं नहीं, इस्कॉन वाले तो खेती करते हैं लेकिन शुद्ध भक्ति का बीज तो हम डाल रहे हैं. तो मैं उनको बोला, जो जिन खेतों में इस्कॉन खेती कर रहा है उन्हीं खेतों में क्यों डाल रहे हैं, अपना जोतो और डालो. तो देखो इसमें कितना कनिंग एटीट्यूड है ना. मैं बोला, अरे आपका एटीट्यूड इतना कनिंग है, जो इस्कॉन जिनको कनेक्ट कर रहा है आप उनको जाके खींच रहे हो, और फिर आप बोल रहे हो शुद्ध भक्ति है. बोलो, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ शुद्ध भक्ति इज दिस? यू प्रीच ना, वर्क हार्ड, गो इनटू द स्ट्रीट, डिस्ट्रीब्यूट बुक्स. वो शुद्ध भक्ति नहीं है. तो फिर भैया इसको पकड़ के और रहे हो, ये शुद्ध भक्ति है. मतलब कितना अनफॉर्चुनेट है. हाउ कृष्णा कैन बी हैप्पी विद सच पीपल व्हेन दे आर ड्रैगिंग दोज हु आर कनेक्टेड टू अदर्स, इज इट नॉट? बहुत अनफॉर्चुनेट है. But actually, you see, Prabhupada told us, and ISKCON devotees, they toil and work hard. It's not easy to make devotees. आप देखो, वी आर प्रीचिंग इन गुवाहाटी, मैं अभी ट्रेन देगा 33 घंटा 35 घंटे का जर्नी है. इतना दूर जाके ट्रैवल करो, वहाँ पर रहो. शुरुआत के दिनों में तो वहाँ कुक भी नहीं था, वो बेचारे इधर उधर जाके कैसे प्रसाद अरेंज करते थे. और फिर हॉस्टल में जाओ, उसको स्टडी करो. अच्छे कॉलेजों में प्रीच करना इतना ईजी नहीं है, स्टार्ट करना. स्टडी करो, उसको देखो, समझो, फिर एक आएगा. एक आया था, शिफ्ट हुआ, फिर 1 महीने के बाद में बाहर शिफ्ट हो गया. तो ये सब इमोशंस भी अफेक्ट करता है ना. आपने इन्वेस्ट किया, फिर चला गया, अरे फिर ठीक है, फिर पॉजिटिव एनर्जी से फिर वापस ट्राई करो, फिर कुछ प्रोग्राम कराओ, फिर यहाँ कराओ, वहाँ कराओ, फिर कुछ दिक्कत आ जाती है, किसी ने ऐसा वीडियो भेज दिया ग्रुप में, कोई टीचर आ गया, कहीं कुछ हो गया, कहीं कुछ हो गया, वो सब हैंडल करना पड़ता है आपको. तो आप कहीं जाके धीरे धीरे करके उसको परिवर्तन कराओ, संकल्प कराओ, स्फूर्ति कराओ, प्रसाद खिलाओ, डाउट क्लियर करो, टाइम दो, फिर उत्कर्षा लेके आओ. फिर उत्कर्षा में फिर मम्मी को भी डील करो, उसके पापा को भी समझाओ, फिर उसको शिफ्ट करो. शिफ्ट करने के बाद उसको अनर्थास जो फेस होते हैं उनको हैंडल करो, उसको बचा के रखो. फिर धीरे धीरे करके तिलक लगाता है प्रभु हमारा. तो बहुत मुश्किल है. बट दे डोंट वांट टू डू दिस पार्ट. अब जो डिवोटी बन गया, धोती कुर्ता लगा लिया, तिलक लगा लिया, प्रभुपाद की किताबें पढ़ ली, तो उसको पकड़ेंगे प्रेम भक्ति, शुद्ध भक्ति. मतलब कितना अनफॉर्चुनेट है. ऐसे आप अपने इस्कॉन वृंदावन टेम्पल में जाओगे तो बाहर बांटते हैं वो किताबें, ऐसी फ्री में बांटेंगे आपको ऐसे. इसलिए हम लोगों के लिए प्रभुपाद जी के प्रति लॉयल्टी बहुत जरूरी है, बहुत जरूरी है. मुझे तो श्रीधर महाराज जी का वो पास टाइम बहुत अच्छा लगता है. जब श्रीधर महाराज वॉज इन लास्ट डेज, तो एक ऐसे ही कोई अच्छे डिवोटी थे, ऐसा नहीं कि अच्छे डिवोटी नहीं थे वो, तो वो अपने एक शिष्य को भेजते हैं कि जाओ, ही इज़ ऑन हिज लास्ट डेज, सो यू कैन ट्राई टू गिव. सो श्रीधर महाराज का सर्वेंट श्रीधर महाराज को बोलता है कि महाराज, ये कोई उन्होंने भेजा है, वो कोई बड़े सन्यासी हैं उन्होंने. तो श्रीधर महाराज ने उनको बोला, क्योंकि वो सन्यासी प्रभुपाद जी को थोड़ा पसंद नहीं करते थे, कुछ तो होगा बैकग्राउंड. तो श्रीधर महाराज उनको बोले, आई डोंट वॉन्ट एनी वन एल्स, फॉर मी प्रभुपाद इज इनफ. तो हमको भी वैसा फेथ होना चाहिए. ये जीवन प्रभुपाद जी के लिए, हम जैसा भी है वैसा है. ऐसा तमल कृष्ण महाराज जब गोवर्धन में थे, तो ही टोल्ड वन ऑफ द डिवोटी, यू नो व्हाई आई बिलीव कृष्ण इज गॉड? Yes, because it is written in Bhagavad Gita. He said no. So then he told, I believe Krishna is God because Prabhupada told me. If Prabhupada would have told Jesus is God, Jesus is Krishna, then I would have believed that. अब देखो प्रभुपाद जी के शिष्यों का प्रभुपाद जी के प्रति कैसा था, ऐसा है. सो ऐसा लॉयल्टी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि इवन इफ आई डाई फॉलोइंग प्रभुपाद, नॉट गेटिंग एनीथिंग, नो प्रॉब्लम, बट आई वांट टू फॉलो प्रभुपाद. प्रभुपाद बहुत स्पेशल आचार्य है, बहुत स्पेशल आचार्य. And we should not get affected by all this going around. Bhaktivedanta Thakur had so many disciples, they were much more learned and so many things. But then it was Prabhupada who understood the heart and took it to the West, like that. And they somehow, they don't have that kind of, still appreciation for Prabhupada. All of you remember we went to this Bagh Bazaar temple. You were there? Yeah. I went with some group of devotees. तो वहाँ पर उन्होंने प्रभुपाद जी बाग बाजार में एक वो बनाया है म्यूजियम। नहीं, बाग बाजार टेम्पल के चैतन्य म्यूजियम करके ऐसा तो कुछ बनाया है एक। तो उसमें सब कुछ है, बहुत सारा कुछ बता रखा है चैतन्य महाप्रभु के बारे में, फिर भक्तिनाथ जी ठाकुर के बारे में। अब भक्तिनाथ जी ठाकुर के प्रोमिनेंट डिसाइपल्स बताए हुए। तो उसमें प्रभुपाद जी का नाम हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस ए.सी भक्तिवेदांत श्रील प्रभुपाद ने लिखा है। जो उनका ग्रस्ता फोटो था और जो ग्रस्ता नाम था अभय चरना वो लिखा है। देखो प्रभुपाद जी कितना कुछ किए, लेकिन उनको वो रिस्पेक्ट वो लोग नहीं देते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ सम रीजन मे बी। बट पॉइंट इज वी हैव टू नो दैट हु वाज प्रभुपाद। It's not that all are like that. There were many good friends of Prabhupada also in Gaudiya Sampradaya. But then still there are some, they have some differences. But we have to know that Prabhupada was very special, and for us, it is because of Prabhupada and his followers that we have, and so much preaching is happening because of Prabhupada. Like that, and so many people are taking up to Bhakti. Can you imagine Bhaktivinoda Thakur had sent his best of the disciples by arranging a flight ticket with all the facilities to London. They had accommodation, they had flight ticket, still they could not make devotees. And Prabhupada, you see, without ticket, going on a cargo ship, and 70-year age traveling बहुत है। हम लोग 30-40 में रोज रहते हैं, है ना। और वो भी नॉर्मल जर्नी नहीं, 40 दिन का 45 दिन का पूरा जर्नी था शिप पे। एक्चुअली क्या है ना, जो सी सिकनेस है उसमें जी व्याकुल हो जाता है, आपको उल्टी भी आती है, ऐसा है, तो बहुत पागलपन जैसा हो जाता है। इसलिए वो शिप को 1-2 महीने के बाद में कहीं ना कहीं किसी पोर्ट पे लेके आते हैं, और फिर जो नेवी और मर्चेंट नेवी वाले लोग होते हैं वो थोड़ा ग्राउंड में घूम घाम के आते हैं। मन पागल हो जाता है पानी देख देख के, पानी देख देख के ऐसा। आप सोचो पूरा दिन पानी देख रहे हैं, ऐसा है। तो लेकिन प्रभुपाद जी टुक दैट पेन, and then you see in America, no facility, nothing, from scratch, everything is started. So Kanishta means is Komal, but then as he grows, then these stages are defined as per the faith which increases. याहार कोमल श्रद्धा से कनिष्ठ जन क्रमे क्रमे ते हो भक्त हईबे उत्तम। धीरे धीरे करके जब उसका श्रद्धा बढ़ेगा तो वो आगे बढ़ेगा। तो ये मैंने एक सेमिनार अटेंड किया था, तो इसलिए हिंदी में नोट्स हैं। कोमल श्रद्धा मतलब जिसको बदल सकते हैं। कच्चा मटका कच्चा मटका समझे आप, वो भी मिट्टी सूखा नहीं है, तो अगर मटके को टेढ़ा कर दिया तो कुछ और बन जाएगा वो, ऐसे। आकर बदल सकते हैं, पकने के बाद नहीं बदल सकते। सो दैट इज ही हैज अ कोमल श्रद्धा। भक्ति में श्रद्धा दृढ़ होनी चाहिए। ये श्रद्धा कहाँ से मिलती है? सत्संगात जायते श्रद्धा, भक्तों के संग से श्रद्धा आती है। ये जो साधु संग है उसके कई स्वरूप हैं। यद्रच्छया, बाय चांस, एक है व्यवस्थितः, जब हम क्रम की बात कह रहे हैं वो व्यवस्थिता साधु संग है। श्रद्धा जो है वो यदृच्छया से भी हो जाती है। तो इसमें 2 प्रकार के साधु संग हैं, एक है यदृच्छया और एक है व्यवस्थितः। तो यदृच्छया का मतलब क्या होता है? बाय चांस किसी साधु से मिल गए। व्यवस्थितता का मतलब क्या होता है? साधुओं के साथ रहते हैं, रेगुलर एसोसिएशन है। तो इसमें ये क्या बताया गया है कि जो हम क्रम की बात कह रहे हैं वो व्यवस्थितता साधु संग है। यानी कि क्या मतलब है? यदृच्छा से हमें श्रद्धा तो आ जाती है, लेकिन जो हम ये बात कर रहे हैं कि श्रद्धा क्रमे क्रमे बढ़ेगी, वो कौन से साधु संग से बढ़ेगी? यदृच्छा से या व्यवस्थितता से? व्यवस्थितता से, जब हम रेगुलरी साधु का संग कर रहे हैं। है समझ? सुरसु सिद्धान से वासुदेव कथा रची, सात्मत सेवया विपर्या पुण्य श्रवण निसेवनात्। श्रद्धा भक्तों के संग से मिलती है। ये भी बहुत सुंदर चीज बताया इन्होंने ना, यदृच्छया व्यवस्थितः। तो भक्त कहाँ मिलेंगे? पुण्य तीर्थ निसेवनात्, होली प्लेसेस पे। इसलिए पहले लोग होली प्लेसेस पे जाते थे, क्योंकि अभी भक्त चाहिए। और उनके साथ में संग करना पड़ेगा। और भक्त कहाँ मिलेंगे? वो होली प्लेसेस पर रहते थे। दैट्स व्हाई पीपल वुड ट्रेवल टू होली प्लेसेस। They may go occasionally to holy places. They may see some devotees. They may get impressed by seeing them in holy places. श्रद्धा, सुनने की इच्छा, सुनने से रुचि हो जाएगी। तो श्रद्धा संग से आती है। श्रद्धा रतिर, भक्तों के संग से श्रद्धा प्राप्त होती है। भक्ति में समझना चाहिए जो प्राप्ति का साधन है वही वृद्धि का कारण भी है। यानी कि साधु संग से ही श्रद्धा आती है, साधु संग से ही श्रद्धा बढ़ती है। ऐसा, ये बहुत अच्छा लाइन लिखा है। भक्ति में समझना चाहिए कि जो प्राप्ति का कारण है वही वृद्धि का कारण है। ऐसा है, बहुत अच्छा लाइन है। We can continue because this whole is about Shraddha only. I heard many lectures on Shraddha, then made this one doc so that I can have some Shraddha to speak on Shraddha. और tomorrow we continue because ठीक है, इसमें टाइम लगेगा। tomorrow we continue. प्रभुपाद की जय।